Good evening. This is the Board of Library Trustees meeting. It is Wednesday, October 16th. We are in the library conference room here in East Longmeadow, and I would like to call the meeting to order. It is 6:04 p.m. I am Amy Paul, Vice Chair.
Katie McGonigal, Library Director.
Jean Santolo, Trustee.
Nancy O'Connor, Trustee.
David Boucher, Trustee.
Larry Bauman, Secretary.
There are no public comments that I know of. There is no one here from the public. Can we take a moment to review the minutes of the September 18th meeting? Our last one. Thank you, Larry. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes from the September 18th meeting?
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes from September 18th?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from
Second?
September 18th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now we have the director's report.
Thank you. I'm going to start with children's highlights. There were 34 programs, 938 program attendees. For passive programs, there were 323 participants for the scavenger hunt, 197 guesses for the guessing jar, 57 people enjoyed the outdoor story, and there were 456 people that participated with the art craft. And then in the children's department, there were 311 reference transactions. Exciting happenings were the Chicks again. The Chicks were back this year thanks to the generosity of the Friends of East Longmeadow Public Library. They funded that program. It was really fun. There was 7 eggs and 5 hatched, and folks were coming from all over to check out the eggs and then the chicks, and so it was really sweet. And they just went back on Tuesday.
We just missed them yesterday.
Yeah. The fall season of programming for the children's department has been very successful. Patrons are coming in for programs, book, play, and connections with staff, and of course to see the tricks. For teen highlights, was very busy with the teen department. There were 14 programs, 186 program attendees. There was 1 passive program, and there was 9 participants for that. The teen program has really taken off during the month of September. There's a variety of programming offered, including book clubs, crafternoons, and there's the new collaborative Teen Spot program that we're offering with the Park and Rec Department on Friday afternoons over at Fellowship Hall in the Rotary. There's been positive feedback from the teen patrons and their families regarding the variety and kind of quantity of programs that are now being offered. And Erica provided some pictures for us from a votive holders craft program, and then they did a Doctor Who program as well. The after-school hours are still incredibly busy with patron visits, and the teen area on the second floor often cannot accommodate the number of teen patrons wishing to use that area. A big draw for that area is the inviting and comfortable seating. Thanks again to the Friends for purchasing that seating for us. There's computers, crafts, games, and other passive offerings as well. Plus now there's an area where the teens can grab some free books, so that's really nice. So it's nice that we are very busy. For adult programs, there were 10 programs, 106 program attendees. There were 226 reference transactions on the second floor. There were 263 hours of study room use, and 47 requests went unfulfilled.
Is that more than usual, or is that my...
It's how they're now tracking it.
Oh, okay.
So I had a conversation with some of the team upstairs, and when somebody comes and asks to use a room, but we say, oh, well, somebody's in it, and they're not going to be available for 45 minutes, do you want the next in line? Like, we need to start keeping track of those.
Okay.
Okay, so, or if we're getting ready to close and there's not enough time for them to use it, so we're gonna change the way that we're tracking how many requests are going unfulfilled, so, and we are very busy, so 47. Thanks for noticing that. The Adult Services Department continues to offer a variety of programs, connect with other town departments, and outreach opportunities within the community. Maura has reviewed and provided feedback to the Council on Aging's age-friendly report and draft, as well as working with the Deputy Town Manager, Rebecca Lisi, on her book clubs. So she did a book club in September and again in October.
And this is more Mara.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. During the month of September, the library hosted a hydrangea paint class with Pop-Up Art School. This was the first time using this vendor and they were great. The class filled up really fast. Everyone showed up and the patrons loved it. And Maura provided some pictures down here in our report so you can kind of get a glimpse
So
as to what
did they
happened.
paint that? Is that,
That's really nice.
Yeah, right.
I like that.
that looks pretty neat.
For the circulation department, 8,834 items circulated. That was a decrease of 1,824 from August and a decrease of 209 from September 2023. There were, however, 48 new patron registrations, 78 reference transactions, 8 non-library meeting room uses, 87 volunteer shelving hours, and our door count was 10,736. The new adoptable program is off to a strong start. The circulation department created a display of books for all ages, and patrons have adopted 7 titles this month to be added to our shelves with commemorative dedications. We've had them adopted for birthdays, to share the love of reading, and in one, a celebration of blue pancakes. Our Library of Things has continued to grow, and we've added an air compressor for pumping up tires, bouncy houses, or whatever you have, and a jewelry making kit. We've also had a large number of Library of Things items checked out this month, including our sewing machine, bicycle toolkit, telescope, boombox, DVD player, switch console, and Tuvalu speech pathology aids. For tech services, 883 items were added and 274 items were deleted from the collection during the month of September. The tech services department absolutely crushed it. That is so many items coming in and through their department. It was phenomenal. Due to high demand, another hotspot was added to the library collection for patron use. And the Adopt a Book program, which I previously mentioned in the CERC report, was launched in collaboration with all the departments. And I provided an image of one of our publicity posts, and then I also attached the Adopt a Book form.
Pardon me if you've already mentioned this.
No.
The Adopt a Book, I'm assuming that $15 is not the cost of all of the books.
No, it's just a flat fee
okay.
to make it easier for patrons and for staff. So
Okay.
some books are going to cost a little bit more than that. Some
But it
books
evens
might
out.
cost a little bit less, but basically it evens out.
Oh, cool. It's easier to manage that way, I'm 100%.
Yeah. So you can see that we have the Adopt a Book form here. That got set up. We're going to talk about this again in a few minutes. I think it's 2 pages after that. So that's been going well, and the display is in the lobby if you'd like to go see it. For professional development, during the month of September, staff attended the following sessions. I Curate 101 from Ingram, Navigating the Digital Library Landscape, Expand Library Digital Equity Services with New Funds Now, and How to Test for Accessibility. Some of these are for, the Ingram one is for staff that are looking for collection development. The Expanding Library Digital Equity Services, the library and the town and several other departments are working on digital equity for the community, so that's part of that. And ADA requirements are changing in 2026. So we have to make some changes to our website by the time those requirements go into effect, those changes go into effect. So there's a lot of professional development going right now by staff. Staff are taking quite a few professional development to be prepared for that, to make sure that we're compliant. For the Friends, the National Friends of Libraries Week is October 20th through the 26th. And I have a recommendation that we adopt a book in their honor. So last year, we did the brick to thank them for all that they do.
Oh,
Do you remember
that's-
doing
yes, I
that brick
remember.
out?
I was thinking
You were
about
not here yet,
that.
but yes. So the Friends of East Long Meadow Public Library are incredibly generous and supportive of our staff, of our community, of our building, of our programming. And so last year, as a thank you, the board adopted a brick from the literacy path, which is part of like the Friends efforts. Now that we have launched the Adopt a Book program, it's a great opportunity for us to commemorate, give thanks, dedicate. And so I thought, books that we're adding to our collection, so I thought it would be nice if we did one for the Friends from the board. So I've already kind of taken the liberty of doing this. I hope you're all okay with that. And Christina, we picked the book East Coasting. So this was one of the books that was on our display. And we have a little letter here for the Friends. And then we have a book plate that will go in it. So does somebody want to read this out?
I'll read it out if you
Thanks,
want.
Nancy.
Sure. On October 16th, 2024, a letter from the East Long Meadow Library Board of Trustees was sent to the Friends of the East Long Meadow Public Library, which recited, in celebration of 2024 National Friends of Libraries Week, the East Long Meadow Library Board of Trustees has chosen a book from the library's new Adopt a Book program. The selected book, East Coasting, The Ultimate Road Tripper's Guide to the Northeast, by Christine, is that Chitness?
I think so.
Chitness, is now on our shelves with a commemorative dedication. This book has been adopted in celebration of the Friends of the East Long Meadow Public Library by the Board of Library Trustees 2024. Happy National Friends of Library Week. This title is available to be enjoyed by the thousands of patrons who use our library every year, which we hope will include members of the FOELPL, and I'm assuming that's the Friends. Your support continues to make our library bigger, brighter, and more able to meet the needs of our diverse community. Sincerely, the East Long Meadow Library Board of Trustees.
So I don't know if this
I
is the
think
way to
it's
go about
lovely.
doing this,
Yes.
but if you are okay with that, and I am happy to have you all sign it. I brought a pen. And that's
Yeah,
the
that-
letter, and then we can get it to them as a thank you for all that they do.
Yes,
It sounds like an interesting book.
East Coasting.
it looks very,
Yeah.
I would pick that book up.
So is that like a
It's just like a travel guide. It's a brand new
travel-
book. Nobody's borrowed it yet. What we'll do is Christina's already made the nameplate. We'll just put that on the inside. Then we check it in and it goes out into circulation.
Great.
I'll just pass that
Okay,
back.
so I'll let you all sign it if you're so inclined.
Oh, okay.
And you can pass the book around, and I've got the dedication. So that's the Friends. And
Pardon me, I just,
we've got to make
this
sure everyone
looks
signs.
great.
So for the Adopt a Book program, we started off we're kind of ordering them quarterly. And right now we're trying around 20-ish books. So there's several for children, several for teens, several for adults. So there's a variety for people to choose from. It ranges from picture books to cookbooks to travel guides to the hottest, book for teens. So we're trying to offer variety that people might be interested in. If they don't end up getting adopted, that's okay. We try.
Yeah.
Not every book's for everyone, and that's okay. Once the next shipment comes in, those adopted books will just be checked in and shelved, and then the next batch will go out for people to choose from. So we don't want them sitting out for too long.
Yep.
We want them to move, and so we're just starting this out, so
That's a kind of a clever idea. Where did that originate from?
So it's a lot of libraries and even some museums do things like this where it's a way to kind of build up your collection.
Their collections.
And people are looking for ways to donate or get involved or to, say thanks or.
Right.
So it's a nice way to do that.
That's a
That's a good
memento
idea.
too, really.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, folks. This is great.
Cute illustration.
So the library staff is also going to give one to the Friends on behalf of all they do for the staff.
The photos look pretty good from here when you were flipping through.
Oh, those are illustrations.
Are they?
Paintings,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Little, it's like watercolors.
It was, I almost took, there's like a charcuterie cookbook out there and I almost went for that one, but there's lots of good choices, it was hard to choose. So I thought, fall, foliage,
Yeah.
Perfect.
being
Yeah.
like these New England
Yeah.
travel.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, great, so that's that piece. For the library update, the financial report for the state was submitted on October 2nd. Cindy came in, I reviewed that with her, and she signed it, and we sent that off. That had already been approved by the town manager. So we are all set. Just upcoming, I know I typically reflect back, but I just wanted to let you all know that there is early voting that's gonna be happening in this room with the town clerk is overseeing that, and early voting is actually gonna start on this Saturday, and it's gonna run through November 1st. And then today, we're gonna do the social media policy review, and then our next meeting is gonna be Wednesday, November 20th.
Okay, thank you, Katie.
My pleasure.
We will now, old business, the social media policy, which we did review last time, right? And now we're reviewing with changes.
Correct.
So, I will read, or unless someone else would like to.
Nope. Thank you.
On the adopt book, I just thought of something. Is this any book that you yourself select?
No.
No?
No, that's a great question. The adopted books are books that our staff chooses that we would be purchasing for our collection anyway.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Because we cannot accommodate every request that comes in. And part of the reason that we launched the adopted book program is to give folks a way to already have something to choose from. Because they didn't have an option prior to this.
Right.
So when people would come in and say, I'd like to donate $15, $20, $30, $40 to add books to the collection,
Right,
then it was typically it would take a while for us to then get those books in and then get that done. So this speeds up that
so
process
now
also.
this just makes it easier for people that they have a limited amount of books to choose from and you make a choice.
Yes.
And
yes.
those are books that you would like to buy?
Correct.
Yeah.
There are books that we would already be getting for our collection. And sometimes folks come in and there's not one that they're interested in adopting, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because they can wait until the next quarter when we switch them out, and then maybe there's something of interest to them at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the East Long Meadow Public Library social media policy. Purpose. The East Long Meadow Public Library uses social media to further extend the library's mission and vision to support lifelong learning, literacy, and cultural enrichment by providing access to information, knowledge, and ideas through its collections, services, and programs. The Board of Library Trustees, the Library Director, and library staff recognize the responsibility of the East Long Meadow Public Library to support diverse points of view on different topics. The social media policy is intended to provide guidance for the development and presentation of social media content which anticipate and meet the needs of our patrons. The American Library Association's Library Bill of Rights, the Freedom to Read Statement, The Freedom to View statement and the First Amendment and censorship have been endorsed by the East Long Meadow Board of Library Trustees and are an integral part of this policy. See Appendix. Social media definition. In the context of this policy, social media is defined as any web application, site, or account created and maintained by the East Long Meadow Public Library, which facilitates an environment for library staff to share information about library-related subjects or issues. Examples of such sites include, but are not limited to, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. For purposes of this policy, content is anything posted on East Long Meadow Public Library's social media sites, including comments, articles, pictures, videos, or any other form of communicative information. Responsibility for social media content. The ultimate responsibility for social media content, as with all library resources and services, rests with the library director who operates within the framework of policies determined by the East Long Meadow Board of Library Trustees. The library director delegates social media content responsibility to other members of the professional staff. The process of content development and distribution involves the experience and knowledge of those staff members so designated by the library director. The East Long Meadow Public Library uses social media to develop and share content about library programs, services, resources, collections, and outreach to keep library patrons informed of library happenings. Library staff will periodically evaluate the role and utility of its online social media sites, which may be terminated at any time without notice to users. User responsibility. As with more traditional resources, the library does not act in place of or in the absence of a parent and is not responsible for enforcing any restrictions which a parent or guardian may place on a minor's use of the resource. Responsibility for a child's reading, listening, or viewing material rests solely with their parent or guardian. As stated in Free Access to Libraries for Minors, an interpretation of the Library Bill of Rights, libraries and their governing bodies cannot assume the role of parents or the functions of parental authority in the private relationship between parent and child. Libraries and their governing bodies shall ensure that only parents and guardians have the right and the responsibility to determine their children's, and only their children's, access to library resources. Parents and guardians who do not want their children to have access to specific library services, materials, or facilities should so advise their own children. See Appendix. There is no expectation of privacy on the East Long Meadow Public Library's social media sites. Users of all ages have a responsibility to protect their privacy. Users should be aware that third-party websites have their own privacy policies and should proceed accordingly. Any posting made on the library's social media sites may be used by the library without compensation or liability on the part of the library. The library does not collect, maintain, or otherwise use the personal information stored on any third-party social networking site in any way other than to communicate with users on that site unless granted permission by users for library contact outside the site. The purpose for contact outside the site may include program promotion, volunteer opportunities, reference help, or similar activities. If any user does not agree to the terms of this policy and all other library policies, they should not use the service. Disclaimer. Third-party content found on East Long Meadow Public Library's social media sites do not represent the official views of the East Long Meadow Public Library. The East Long Meadow Public Library accepts no liability for such content. Content perceived as containing any of the following, but not limited to, inappropriate forms of content shall be considered in violation of this policy. Conduct in violation of any federal, state, or local law, rule, or regulation. Information that may tend to compromise the safety or security of the public or public systems. encouragement of a legal activity, private personal information published without consent, content that promotes, fosters, or perpetuates discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, genetic information, religion, age, family status, military status, or source of income. Profane, obscene, violent, or pornographic content and/or language. Personal attacks, insults, or threatening language. Potentially libelous statements. Plagiarized materials. Content in support of or opposition to any political campaigns or ballot measures. Commercial promotions or spam. Comments unrelated to the content of the forum, hyperlinks to material that is not related to the discussion, any other content deemed inappropriate by the East Longmeadow Public Library. The East Longmeadow Public Library reserves the right to report to the social media platform and/or deny access to East Longmeadow Public Library's social media sites to any person who violates the East Longmeadow Public Library's social media policy at any time and without prior notice. By posting content, the user agrees to indemnify the East Longmeadow Public Library and its officers and employees from and against all liabilities, judgments, damages, and costs incurred, including attorney's fees, which arise out of or are related to the posted content. The library may disable comments on some library posts. Social media policy is subject to review and amendment by the Board of Library Trustees. I think it's great. I just have a comment problem. I think this comma at the end, so the last, page 4, first full paragraph, I think the comma after officers actually belongs after employees. So it would say,
Oh, I think you're right.
and its officers and employees from and again, yeah, I think that was what I was having trouble with.
Not that one. Add it there. I have another comma that I think on page 3.
Okay, we have comma discussions, my favorite kind.
That's why I'm bringing it up now, because I just, when you read it, I was like, oh, I don't think that comma, I think they're either that comma does not need to be there or there needs to be a second comma. So in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bullet point from the bottom, content in support of or opposition to, comma. We got it.
I'm so
Okay,
proud.
thanks. Any political campaigns or ballot measures, right? I needed the comma there, I dropped it. Apologies. Also, the appendix is updated.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read the appendix. There are a bunch of URLs here, as
Yes.
we discussed.
Yes.
For,
Consolidated them and added them all
yes,
in.
I have it.
Just out of curiosity, on page 2, under user responsibility, the third line, responsibility for a child, as in singular, their parent or guardian. Wouldn't you change that to children?
What are we looking at?
Responsibility for a children's,
I think it's,
as in plural, to
I
correspond.
read that there as being the generic,
oh, I think
the
it's
use
page 2.
of,
Oh, okay.
because we don't know, it could substitute for his
His,
or
hers.
hers.
Oh, okay.
But I see what you're saying.
You know, I have no particular strong.
I think it needs to be singular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments?
I guess I'm missing something. Did you, was it just punctuation that?
Yep.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
We added a comma,
We're moving one.
page 3 in the bulleted list.
Oh, okay.
From 1, 2, 3, it was 5th from the bottom, the sentence or the bullet that says content in support of, comma, or opposition to, we're adding a comma.
Yep.
I don't think you're on
You
the
see
right
it,
page,
Nancy?
Nancy.
Next page, page
Next
3. Content here, adding a comma.
Oh, I got it.
Opposition
Yeah,
to
okay,
comma.
I can see it. Yeah, thank you very much.
And
Yep,
then
it's okay.
on the next page, Nancy, number 4, that paragraph about indemnification, we moved the comma. So it's by posting content, the user agrees to indemnify the East Long Meadow Public Library and its officers, no comma, we're taking that one out. So it's gonna say, and we're moving it to after employees. So it says, and its officers and employees, comma, from and against all liabilities, yada yada. Do you see it, Nancy? Is that okay?
Nancy, are you okay with that change?
No, I see that, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I do see that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Can we have a motion to, with the minor discussed punctuation changes, to accept, sorry, someone else should make a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the social media policy with comma changes to this date of October 16th, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, motion carries.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Thank you.
On to the next. So now we have no new business.
No new business. I actually did not, I was just trying to check to see if it had come through. I do not
We
have
don't have the Friends
a
report.
friend report. Sorry.
Okay.
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 Did you want to talk about Friends meetings, how we're going to try to go to them, or we don't need to? That's fine.
We discussed it a little bit, in that I think it would be really beneficial for the board and for the Friends to kind of build up that relationship and to kind of have that opportunity to meet and discuss and learn from each other. So I reached out to see if any of the Board of Trustees would be interested in like maybe setting up some sort of rotation if you were available to attend one of the Friends meetings. David has signed up for, is it October, David?
December.
December, just kidding, December.
Yes.
Just kidding, December. It's October, right?
December,
Right
yeah.
now it's
Right, it's October right now.
October. but-
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Thanks, sorry. So I sent out an email to the board to see if anybody would be interested in signing up
Right.
within the next few months to kind of rotate through and meet with the Friends.
And you're gonna let us know the dates that are
I put it in the
available?
email.
You're gonna be handing them out?
I emailed all of you with the dates already.
Okay.
I put the next 3 months, right, November,
Yep,
December,
November, December,
January.
January, yep.
And to see if any of you all would be interested in attending. And they run the meeting, we are just there, basically as observers, but at some point, they will ask us for an update from the board. And typically what that is if, let's say you went to the next meeting.
Yeah.
The board met, we reviewed Katie's director report, the highlights were the chicks, whatever you wanna pull out from that. We discussed the social media policy, that was approved, and, that we have to put that in, that it was amended. That it was amended, and we're looking forward to our next meeting in November, whatever, something along those lines. So it's just a brief recap of whatever we have discussed.
Okay.
And we still need someone to go to the November
I think so, yes.
meeting? Okay.
What was the date
What
of
day
that?
was it? I have to check my calendar.
I'll tell you in 1 minute.
Um,
It's typically the first Tuesday of the month
Oh.
at 6:30
Fifth.
in the community room.
Election day.
It is election day,
Oh,
yes,
nice diversion.
yes. So, their meetings are from 6:30 to 7:30-ish. And we don't always stay, the board members the Board of Trustee members don't always stay for the entire meeting. Sometimes they go into like executive session or.
Okay, yeah.
So we should all check our emails and see if
Yep.
we can go on this November, or you're going in December,
And
Dave?
the other
or-
one is
Yeah.
January,
Did I-
January 7th.
Yeah, is that what I emailed?
I think so.
November,
I know
December,
it's-
January? Because we
Yeah.
already are halfway through October. Yeah, that one makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think
It's,
that's a good idea.
I'm looking backwards for these meetings and they are looking forward, so I have to like,
That's okay.
it's a switch for me.
Yep.
Okay,
Um,
thanks.
Yes.
I'll
Okay, thank
definitely
you.
sign up for one of them.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And as I get, as we kind of head into the new year, then I'll send out an email for other dates if you're interested and available. Thank you.
Okay, so our next meeting is November 20th, 2024, right here at 6 PM. And would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make an emotion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.